So Dad said, well, hey, why don't we let's go up the ladder and we'll tie up as high on this oak as we possibly can and give us a little leverage. And so when we get ready to cut this thing down, it should fall right there, no problem, right? So Sid and I are roped in. Oh no, on the other side of the driveway, right, which is probably 40 feet from the tree.
Yeah, we're roped in.
We got this thing, and don't worry, Dad, we got it. I'll tell you, when he got to the point of the chainsaw, now we got a ladder, and it probably had how many rungs all the way up? Probably 15 rungs, 20 rungs maybe all the way up.
Extension ladder.
Big ladders. So he got to the point where the tree was starting to fall, and sure enough, man, it was supposed to go this way, but it started going that way. And right on top of their gorgeous, beautiful new home that they had worked so hard for. So Dad's up on there, and he sees what's happening. And Sid and I are, at that point, we're on our butts, and it's pulling us across the driveway in the wrong direction.
You're lucky it didn't fling you.
Yes. And what happened, the wonderful thing is there was, was it a creosote log or something?
Yeah, on the back in the driveway.
One side of the driveway had a log in it, and thank God for that log, man. Because he came down off the roof, and chainsaws flying. Dad probably hit 2 of those rungs on the way down, coming down the ladder, and he's running toward us as the tree starts falling down on his house. And all 3 of us, man, we were holding on. We hit that creosote log, and we were like, well, my arms are going to pull off my body, and I'm not going to let this go, because I know what it means. And he joined us, and we got that thing stopped, and then
Wow. That's amazing. The crazy part is that Orv told us that joke in camp.
Oh, he did. It wasn't a joke.
That story is in camp.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
he said that you guys were the problem.
All right, I'm going to tell one more story just for fun. Right? How tough that guy was. I tell you what, he bought a little piece of property down in Fredericksburg, and it was kind of a little vacation spot. It was on the Potomac River, and they were going to doll it up a little bit. And so we were building a shed down there. And it was the end of the day, we were getting ready to go home. And so Dad was kind of running around doing his things, putting things back together, and he tried to jump over this. Now, he's probably 80 at that point. Maybe 75, maybe 80, I don't know. But he was getting up there. And he kind of walked around, I remember, right by me, and he tried to jump over this little tree limb that was sitting there, and that caught his foot. And he went straight down on the ground, and if you can imagine, and I'm 60, I'll be 68. And so I know that
Ground or concrete?
it was concrete. It was a concrete drive that we put in, and he was right on the concrete drive. And he caught his foot in that thing, and he came down. I don't know. Yes, but hit his knee square on the concrete. And I remember thinking, oh my God, it just shattered his kneecap or something. And just like him, he
jumped up.
He jumps up and he goes, ah! Rubs it off and starts walking around. It's like, you are Superman. That's just what I'm thinking. But anyway, just a note.
Real quick, that reminded me of a very short story. When we went up to the cabin, we went up on the weekend to their cabin in Stanley. And I got in the house, and he's been outside working, and his jeans are torn open, like from the thigh all the way down the calf, like ripped. I'm like, and he's walking around in them. I said, Pop, what happened to your jeans? You want me to get you a new pair of jeans? And he said, oh, I hit it with my chainsaw. I'm like, take your pants off. It was like this, he wasn't badly cut, but he didn't even look.
Wow.
He kept those jeans too. He threw them out when we cleaned up.
Never cut the chainsaw.
We found out that I call it a strategic hoarder, because when we started cleaning out that house down there,
Yeah.
he has, pictures from way back when, everything. I don't want to talk about that side of Dad. He was tough, but he was a guy that I always never could live up to what I expected my dad thought of me, right? Never could. And I want to talk about community, because Dad was about whatever community he got involved in. He got involved, right? And when we were growing up, he was always the head of the HOA. He was always the head of the the
Civic
Boosters Club
Association.
at school, any association. And this is not the first pass club that he did. Right. You guys are the second one.
You are special.
Yeah. But the story about my dad that I will always remember, and it's about me trying to live up to him because I never could do that. And what the worst thing I ever heard him say, and this was about community. We were cleaning out Holmes Run Pool. We had 2 pools, and every year they'd get full of junk, and then springtime would come and he'd recruit all the kids in the neighborhood. We'd be there with our wheelbarrows and shovels and cleaning out the swimming pools. And the worst thing I ever heard my dad say was, "We got to get all this crap out of here." I've had trouble living up to that. But that's who Dad was.
There was a certain election where I heard him say shit, but we won't go.
It's only been in the past few years. He has never.
He's not
all
around
grown
me,
up.
I ruined it.
Hey, no, I'll tell one other thing. Dad and I were, and I think you guys were there too, but we were down in Holmes Run Acres, and we were walking through the creek down there that was all over the place, you know, and we were just walking through it. And I remember, and this is the first time, it's funny that you should say that, because the first time I ever heard him say anything that was out of line was right then when he tripped and he slipped off the edge of one of the rocks that was, you know, in the creek and everything, and he fell down. And he got up and he said, "Shit." First time I ever heard him say anything, and I think it was the last time I ever heard him say anything like that.
What a wonderful tribute. What a wonderful tribute to Orv.
I say too that so much of who he was because of your mom.
Oh, yeah.
And the love story that they shared was probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And if my marriage is great today, and it is, it's a lot from just watching them. And there was something on his wall in the room that he died in that said, "Blessed are they that are pleasant to live with."
Blessed are they that are pleasant to live with.
For so many years. And I'm like, oh my God, that distills down everything their love story gave us, right? Like, when I'm not pleasant to live with sometimes, like, I know that never happens. He's always pleasant to live with.
Shit.
They were such a great example, and he was so devoted to her.
You know, to your story, the last words my mother said, not sure she even said it, but were the words to "You are my sunshine."
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, they say it on her
That night.
She was singing in a coma.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And you guys, when you led that, you sang that with her, that was just so remarkable.
We did that many times. We even did it with Dad, and when he was passing just recently, and
Maybe we'll sing it every
It
time
was-
we open a CAB meeting.
I love it.
yeah.
Can I say what? This is so nice.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
We're
I have
grateful.
2 Orv stories. And both of them have to do with cars. It was only, I think, about a year or so ago. He was going up to the cabin. And he thought he had enough space between his car and the one in front. But he got tail-ended and pushed into that one. So what to do? So he gets out, and he said, we exchanged insurance, and he said, the last thing I wanted was for the police to show up. And I said, why? You weren't at fault. He said, they would look at my license and say, you're 99 years old.
They don't care.
You didn't drive like a little old man either.
The other short story, it was a bitter cold day like we have up here. Some of them are really freezing. And he had that sweet little blue car, and he always parked right there on the incline. And I came in to help with coffee, and he comes chuffing in. He said, I don't know what's wrong with the car. It keeps smoking. I said, Orv, your car is smoking? Maybe something's on fire? He said, I don't think so. So we're making the coffee. I said, Orv, do me a favor. Would you go check your car? Okay. Goes out. He comes back in and he said, didn't turn it off.
Oh my God.
Electric cars are true.
Okay, I'm gonna end this now.
Lauren, do you have any stories?
Oh, maybe not.
You guys are close.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna end this now.